Greetings, I am glad to see you on my channel. Please show your support by liking, subscribing, and commenting. Your actions will serve as motivation for me to create more content. Thanks for watching. There wasn't this endless complaining about everything at work. Lisa couldn't eat my brain with a teaspoon with every new phrase about how I don't love her. I disappear a lot at work, and she doesn't have enough money for all the boutiques and salons. Right now, we've just finished talking, and I'd like to throw my phone out the window, but flying from the 10th floor, it could be the murder weapon. I don't know who goes by our office windows. Sarah, get me a coffee. I start going through the papers that were scattered across the desk, partly because I kept shifting them around while I was talking to my wife. A couple minutes later, the door opens and I watch my secretary float into the office. She had a habit of opening the door to my office with her back, or rather, her butt. More accurately, she had an ass and a back. That's exactly what I need right now. Please, John, get the coffee. I thank her and sip the flavored drink. It makes it easier to exist, and I go back to the papers, reading estimates and invoices. Sometimes I go outside for a smoke. One day at that moment, Lisa calls. Nina's music lesson ends in 5 minutes. Pick her up. I let the smoke out and watch it waft in the wind. Actually, I'm at work. And you can't pick up your own daughter? You don't care at all, do you? Lisa's voice in the phone goes hysterical. She had these outbursts several times a day. Usually they were listened to by the maid and the cook in the house. But today Lisa decided to change the victim. I care. You're home now. Why should I quit my job? It's clear I'm picking up Nina because I care about her getting home. Lisa hangs up, and I smoke 2 more cigarettes. I don't feel like going home. I go back to my office, pick up my things, and warn Sarah that I'll be back in an hour or 2. I spend that time at the restaurant, ordering whatever takes the longest to cook, and in the meantime listening to quiet live music. On a small stage, a girl sits on a high chair, followed by a guitarist and keyboardist. The whole room is flooded with soft, warm light, with artificial plants curling in the corners above the ceiling. If Lisa and I go to places like this, the whole pleasant atmosphere of the restaurant collapses with every disgruntled, often jealous statement she makes. It's terribly annoying, but now it's as if an extreme point has been reached. I return to my office and continue working until I'm interrupted by a knock at the door. Yes, Sess. John, aren't you going home? We're the only ones left here. Sarah's head peeks into the office. I'll be leaving shortly. You may be free to go. I look at the time in the corner of the laptop. Your workday is already over. In that case, I'm no longer at work. My fingers freeze over the keyboard, and I see Sarah walk into the office and approach me. She confidently places her hands on my shoulders and begins to massage me. You've been working nonstop today since you got back to the office. You need to get some rest. I reflect, but Sarah seems like the right person to rest. We move to the restroom, and she helps me forget about all my problems. When I arrived at work the next day, the office was bustling with activity. Sarah was already sitting at her desk, typing away intently. Our eyes met for a moment, and she gave me a small, knowing smile. I nodded back, grateful for the momentary connection. I immersed myself in my work, hoping to drown out the noise of my personal life. Hours passed in a series of meetings, phone calls, and endless paperwork. The steady rhythm of productivity offered temporary relief, but eventually the clock struck 3 in the afternoon, and I realized it was time to pick up Nina. The school parking lot was filled with parents and children. I spotted Nina's familiar face among the crowd, and she ran toward me with a wide smile. "Daddy!" she exclaimed, hugging me tightly. For a moment, all my worries faded away. We drove home in cozy silence, Nina talking about her day and friends. When we pulled up to the house, Lisa was already waiting at the door with her arms crossed over her chest and a stern expression on her face. I took a deep breath, preparing myself for the inevitable confrontation. Lisa wasn't wasting any time. "We need to talk," she said in a harsh voice. "Nina, go to your room for now." Nina obediently ran off, leaving us alone in the living room. I tensed up. "What's the matter, Lisa?" "I can't keep living like this," she began, her voice shaking. "You're at work all the time, and when you're home, you're distant. I feel like I'm raising Nina all by myself." Her words hurt, but I couldn't deny there was truth in them. I know, Lisa. It hasn't been easy for me either. Work overwhelmed me, and I tried to keep up with everything. But I realize now that I've been neglecting you and Nina. She looked at me, her eyes softening slightly. "I just want us to be a family again. I want Nina to grow up with both parents and be happy." "I want that too," I said sincerely. "Let's try to make it work. Maybe we could go to counseling, find a way to repair the relationship." Lisa nodded slowly. "I think that's a good idea." For the first time in a long time, I felt a glimmer of hope. We had a long way to go, but maybe we could find our way back to each other. And for Nina's sake, I was determined to try.